Tell, Violet here, second generation homeschooling mom of 3. I have a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and an infant. Today I wanted to share with you some of our favorite read-alouds from the last few years, so let's get into it. This video is part of a collaboration being hosted by Abby at Rooted in Rest and Jessica at the Waldock Way. I'll link the playlist in the description box below. So today's topic is part of the Homeschool Show and Tell series that they are hosting, and it's about our homeschool libraries. So I wanted to share with you some of our very favorite, just a few of our very favorite read-alouds from the last few years. I wanted to start with this book, this Sing a Song of Seasons, a nature poem for each day of the year. So I've been reading this to my children since my oldest was 2 maybe, but it has 366 poems, and each one has something to do with nature. You can see there's just a few poems on each page, and the people who put this book together did a really good job trying to choose different kinds of poems. So there's poems in translation, different styles of poetry, a broad variety of topics, some silly poems, poems that rhyme, more free-form poems, haikus, pretty much everything. So we have really enjoyed reading all the poems in this book. I'll just kind of flip through to the end so you can see. This is actually the first collection in a series. They also have Tiger, Tiger, Burning Bright, which is 366 animal poems. And then the new one they just released is called A Whale of a Time, and it's 366 silly poems. So those collections are excellent as well. All right, so when my daughter was in preschool, these were her very favorite, and younger too, actually. These were her very favorite read-alouds. We read these to her so much. It's Mary Engelbright's Nursery Tales and Fairy Tales. And I really like these editions, or these versions, because she does a good job of condensing the stories so that they're pleasant for the parent to read without losing too much of the original story and flow. So like the stories that repeat a lot, like Little Red Hen, there's still a lot of repetition, but you're not repeating paragraphs and paragraphs each time. So it's much easier on you as the parent to read. So you can see, I'll show you about how long each story is. It's a decently long story for a little kid. But my daughter loved these. She would sit and listen to all of them. We could read her both of these books, and she would just sit and listen to them forever. This one's set up the same way. They both have 12 tales in them. There is a combined version, but it only has 20 tales, so you lose out on 4 of the stories. So I opted to get each of these individually so that I had all of them because my daughter just loved them. So she did a good job, I think, of keeping in some of the kind of scary parts while toning them down as well, so they weren't too scary for sensitive kiddos. All right, and then my daughter's favorite read-alouds from her kindergarten year are these Juana and Lucas books. We have all 3. So my husband grew up in Colombia around the same time that the author Juana Medina did. So these books just really spoke to him. A lot of the things that she experiences in these novels, they're autobiographical. So the main character is the author as a little kid. So a lot of the things that she experiences as a little kid, he experienced as a little kid. And so it was really neat for him to read these with both of my kids. And we reread these regularly. And he can really, kind of show them what it was like growing up in Bogota. So we really enjoyed these books. They have a fun style, and she goes to roller skating camp in this one, which I did not know was a thing, but my husband said it was awful. He did not enjoy roller skating camp as a kid. Apparently it's a big thing in Colombia. But yeah, that is very much what Bogota looks like. So we really enjoyed this whole series. So my daughter's favorite book from her first grade year was the Jojo McCoon's series. The 3rd one just came out, so she reread all of them recently. But they're fairly short. They're about an Ojibwa girl, Jojo, and her adventures on her reservation. So this first one's about her experiences in school. The second one, they drive to her aunt's wedding. And then the 3rd one is called Snow Day, and we have not read it yet. We just got it from the library, so we're excited about that. From this year, my daughter's favorite read-alouds that we've done so far, she actually had 2 this year, was Human Body Theater. It's a graphic novel that goes through let me show you the table of contents, goes through all the major systems in the body. So we really enjoyed reading this book. We read this one together, and then my daughter read it again on her own. There's a page on pregnancy. And yeah, this was really a really good supplement to our science. We did a couple of human body units this year with Building Foundations of Scientific Understanding, and then we read this when we were all done with those. And then my daughter's other favorite read aloud that we've done this year is the Heartwood Hotel series. This is the second in the series. It's just the one that I happen to have on hand. But they're about a mouse named Mona who goes to live at a hotel, and it's full of animals and all their different adventures. So there's one set in each season. The first one's set in the fall, this one's set in the winter, and then there's spring and summer as well. And they're very, very cute. And they have a decent number of pictures. My son, you'll notice I haven't shared a lot of things that my son likes, and that's because he is not huge on read-alouds. He just doesn't really enjoy having people read to him, but he really liked this series as well, so this was a good one for both of them. And then the last thing that I wanted to share with you is I asked my kids what their favorite nonfiction read-alouds were, and they both chose books by the same illustrator, Sarah Gillingham. So she wrote and illustrated this book. This is my son's favorite nonfiction book. He's had us read this to him probably 3 or 4 times all the way through. So it's Seeing Stars, A Complete Guide to the 88 Constellations. My daughter also really likes this book. So each constellation is set up the same way. Have the star map, tells you where it is and a little bit about it, how to find it in the sky, and then why it is what it is, essentially, and then a picture for it. So yeah. We have read all 88 over and over again to my son. He just really, really likes this book, and it's a good length for him. And it has a good mixture of facts and then a little story. So we really like all of Sarah Gillingham's books. She has a bunch. My daughter's favorite nonfiction book is also one that she illustrated, although she did not write it. My daughter's favorite nonfiction book is this, Exploring the Elements, A Complete Guide to the Periodic Table. So Isabel Thomas wrote it, and then Sarah Gillingham did the illustrations. So here's the table of contents, and it's all color coordinated. For each element, they've got a spread like this with key properties, where it's found, where it is in the human body. This one's traced, so they don't have anything colored in. Tells you a little bit about it, more about it, some chemical stuff, what it looks like in the atom, and then some different things that you can find it in. So my daughter loves this book. We have read it all the way through, I think, twice now, and then she also reads it on her own. She really likes chemistry. You can see some of these elements a little bit later on. They aren't found in nature, so their pages are a lot shorter. And then this last book my kids selected together, it's also by Sarah Gillingham. It's Alpha Bravo Charlie, and it's the complete book of nautical codes. So this one's cool because each page has a boat. It tells you what the flag means, and it tells you a little bit about the flag, the kind of boat or ship. Tells you about over here. It has semaphore, phonetic alphabet, and Morse code for the letter A. So this is essentially a more complicated ABC book with the different nautical flags and then different other nautical codes. So this is really cool. Yeah. And then Sarah Gillingham also has a 4th book out right now called Full of Life, and it's all about different animals. But my kids really don't care about animals. So we checked it out, and they were not interested in reading it at all. So those are some of our favorite read-alouds from the last few years. I hope you found that helpful. I'll put links to everything in the description box below. I am an Amazon affiliate, so if you click on the link and make a purchase, I do receive a small commission. Thank you for watching.